Many people think the Colosseum was only about cruel games and senseless slaughter. They picture gladiators as mere killers, savages forced into a chaotic ring where death was the only outcome. They imagine the building itself was a wild and lawless place, soaked in blood for the pleasure of a depraved mob. These are powerful images, and they contain a sliver of truth, but they are far from the whole story. Richer, more complex, more human. The Colosseum was indeed a place of violence, a stage for incredible skill, a venue governed by rules, a masterpiece of showmanship that reveals the very soul of ancient Rome. Roman power, Roman art, many individual lives. This essay will journey past the simple myths to uncover the fascinating realities of this iconic amphitheater. The Colosseum stands in the heart of Rome, a deliberate and powerful statement of imperial authority. Officially, it was known as the Flavian Amphitheatre, named for the dynasty of emperors who built it. Its construction began under Emperor Vespasian around AD 72, on the grounds of a former private lake belonging to the extravagant and despised Emperor Nero. By building this grand public venue on the site of Nero's personal palace, Vespasian sent a clear message. The land was being returned to the people of Rome. The project was a massive undertaking, funded by the spoils of war, most notably from the treasures looted during the sack of Jerusalem in AD 70. This origin story is itself a testament to Roman power, with the amphitheater being built from the profits of military conquest. Emperor Vespasian's son, Titus, officially inaugurated the Colosseum in AD 80, with a spectacular series of games that are said to have lasted for 100 days. Later, Domitian added the hypogeum and the upper tier of seating. The myth of the gladiator is that of a condemned criminal or a captured slave thrust into the arena with a sword and forced to kill or be killed. While many gladiators did indeed come from these backgrounds, this picture is incomplete. Some were prisoners of war, others were slaves sold to a lanista. A surprising number were freeborn men, volunteers. Many were debt-ridden, others sought fame and fortune. They signed contracts to fight for a set period, trading civic freedom for a chance at glory. They were not simply thrown into the ring to die. They were highly trained athletes and entertainers, groomed in specialized schools called ludi. The ultimate prize was not just survival, but fame and fortune. The best gladiators became household names, adored across the empire. Roman audiences, much like modern sports fans, appreciated variety and a well-matched contest. A simple brawl between two identically armed men would have quickly become monotonous. So the Romans developed distinct gladiator types with specific armor, weapons, and styles. Each match became a tactical puzzle, a dramatic clash of strengths and weaknesses. One classic pairing, the retiarius versus the secutor. The retiarius, lightly armored, fought with a weighted net, a three-pronged trident, and a dagger, relying on speed and distance. The secutor, heavy shield and short sword, wore a smooth helmet with tiny eye holes designed to shed the net. It created a dramatic chase. Other types, the myrmio, thrax, hoplomachus, even equites on horseback, added theatrical variety. Contrary to film brawls, contests had rules and referees. Officials could pause bouts for a lost weapon or to adjust armor. They could declare a winner, or a draw, stands misses. The life of a gladiator was one of stark contrasts, defined by brutal discipline, but also by surprising levels of care. Most lived together in their training school barracks, structured environments like military camps. They woke early, trained hard, and were constantly supervised by instructors and the lanista. This regimen forged camaraderie among potential opponents. Archaeology shows a mostly vegetarian diet, barley and beans, building subcutaneous fat to cushion muscles. Dramatic, but less damaging wounds. Owners invested in advanced care. Ludi doctors treated trauma. Galen began as a gladiator school physician, learning anatomy by patching fighters. They formed collegia to ensure burials and aid families. Teflama, the secutor, lived 30 years, fought 34 times, won 21, drew 9, pardoned 4. A career, a name, a legacy. A machine for spectacle, Roman super-engineering. The Colosseum was a marvel of engineering, a machine for crowds and spectacle. About 189 meters long, 156 wide, and 48 high. Built on arches and Roman concrete, 80 arches per level forming a rhythmic facade. Arches distributed loads, modular design sped construction. Concrete mixed with volcanic ash, pozzolana, lime, and rubble poured into vaults and arches. Travertine for piers and facade, lighter tufa and brick within, lightweight concrete above, strength with reduced weight. That smart mix helped it survive quakes and centuries of stone robbing. 80 numbered entrances and tessera tickets aligned gate, section, and row, moving tens of thousands efficiently. Vomitoria stairways let the crowd enter and exit in minutes, a principle still used in modern stadiums. Seating mirrored society, emperor, senators, equites, plebeians, then the poorest, slaves, and women at the top. Under the arena, the secrets of the hypogeum. An ingenious two-story maze of tunnels, passages, and chambers invisible to spectators. Here, gladiators prepared, stagehands worked, and animals waited in cages. Domitian's addition transformed a simple arena into a dynamic stage of surprises. A complex system of elevators and trapdoors produced sudden entrances. Lions, bears, leopards rose from below. A panel sprang open and the crowd gasped. Entire sets emerged. Forests for hunts, elaborate backdrops for mythic scenes. Hundreds labored in cramped darkness, perfectly timed to the drama above. Before the hypogeum, engineers flooded the arena for pneumachii using aqueducts and drains. Special ships and condemned crews staged sea battles. Afterward, naval shows moved to purpose-built basins. Rome chose stage magic over water. When Titus inaugurated the Colosseum, he staged 100 days of games. Cassius Dio wrote that 9,000 wild animals were killed. Lions from North Africa, crocodiles from Egypt, bears from Caledonia, tigers from Persia, Rome's reach on display. Venations were theatrical hunts with professional venatores in staged environments. Animals were also used in public executions of the condemned. Gruesome myth reenactments blended high culture with state violence. At the inaugural games, Priscus and Varus fought so evenly, the crowd begged mercy. They lowered their weapons together. Mutual surrender. Titus honored their courage and the crowd's will, declaring both victors. Each received the rudis, the wooden sword of freedom, and the palm of victory. They entered as slaves and left as free, celebrated heroes. Later, Christian martyrdom associations grew in memory and art more than in contemporary evidence. The Colosseum today is more than a ruin. It's a complex symbol, a testament to engineering and organization on a massive scale. Architecture, logistics, and mechanics reveal practical genius and ambition. Yet it forces us to confront state-sponsored violence as entertainment. It asks what power, spectacle, and public morality mean, then and now. Myth paints tyrants and victims. Reality mixes slavery and celebrity, brutal games and strict rules, death and design. Ultimately, the Colosseum is a mirror. We see our fascination with celebrity, love of spectacle, and how power displays itself. Remember the individuals, engineers, spectators, gladiators, who gave it life. Yeah, that's why it still speaks to us.